Hey everyone, thanks so much for stopping by. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
The death of Ace breaks more than just the world. It breaks fate itself. Thrown into the One Piece universe 10 years before canon, a grieving outsider meets a young Monkey D. Luffy and makes a single decision. This time, Ace will not die. As Luffy's journey begins far earlier than it should, the future slowly unravels, bringing Sabo back into the picture, exposing hidden truths like the mysterious A-Clan, and forcing the brothers to face a destiny that was never meant to change. With friendship, sacrifice, and defiance against fate at its core, this rewritten timeline becomes a battle not just against enemies, but against the future itself. Disclaimer: this story do not belong to me. The author is The Chronicle by ThiefofStealth. Respect to author.
Chapter 52. All she can see is red. On her hands, clothes, feet, the floor, the walls, everywhere. She glanced down on the body she just slashed open a few minutes ago. She brings her weapon to her face, not minding the red liquid dripping down from her weapon as she saw her reflection. There, she saw her face, dirtied by red liquid that got splashed over her mask. She peers into the eye holes. Insanity fills her eyes as her eye color is completely different from her original eye color, lightening under the black eye holes of the mask. It's red, or for more exact blood red with black sclera. That's right, the reds she saw are blood. Or for more exact, her victim's bloods. She grins before she laughed from softly to hysterical. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful red, all staining the place. So beautiful. More more. But then she stops laughing. She stares into the corpses around her blankly before she slams her booted feet onto one of the corpses. The squishy and slimy sound fills the air in the building. She grins sadistically before she chopped the corpse again into more pieces. She sighed in pure euphoria as she walks over the corpses and hums softly. Ah, the grotesque sights before her and the grotesque sounds it makes when she walks on it are so beautiful. Normal people will find this disgusting, or they all will feel all horrible, especially squeamish people will vomit all over the place overseeing the sight. How funny. She steps on the corpses as she skips toward the exit of the building while humming happily. But then she stops for a moment as she feels a presence in movement. She glanced back before she grins under her blood-splattered mask and continues on skipping on the corpses just like rocks by the river for crossing it. It's a person, alive and well and shook down to his spine. How cute. Well, she could be careless about it. She has no more business here, better as well going away from here and go back to the inn without anyone sees her like this. After all, she accepts no failures. XXX. Sama. Ju Sama. OJOU Sama. Wah. I jumped in surprise as my heart skips a beat. Holy shit, that was so loud that I thought I'm gonna lose my left ear's hearing. What the heck, Takao? Do you want to make me deaf? I exclaimed out. You should pay attention on the road instead of daydreaming. Takao replied. I'm not. Why would you think in a crucial time like this I'm daydreaming? I protested with a mock-hurt facial expression. Actually, it's all the time. He replied with a sweat drop. Whoops. But, EY. At least we got help from Pagaya-san and Kanis, so everything's gonna be okay, I said, unless the canon route still occurs just like before, then I have no more idea how to react shit anymore despite I tried to disturb it. I added with comical dark shadows on my face. Well, if it really do going to happen sooner or later, at least you already know how to deal with it somehow, Ojo-sama. Takao replied and I hummed in agreement. Yay, that's true too, but what if my existence here actually makes some disturbances to the canon route? Oh, but it already did, but what if it totally differs from the canon one? I pointed out, after all, me dating with Ace is a totally, never happened, in the canon one. Maybe your every action never really affects the canon route entirely, but you said that there are several villains that shouldn't exist in the canon route but exist when you also exist here, right? So if I'm right and your theory is right, it can be confirmed that you can alter some of the supposed canon route, but not the main and important parts of the canon route. Takao explained. Yay. For example, is going to Alabasta and Skypia, I confirmed, unless there's also a route where we're going to an island that I know nothing of and get our adventure there, I added softly and grumbling at that a bit. Oh man, if that actually happened, then I have no idea what the hell I should do. But still, I'm really wondering on who's the one that trap is for the whole kidnapping Nami and the others sh ticks though. I will kick their ass when I found the culprit because it makes my hard work like a stupid thing to do. What are you two whispering on about? Luffy suddenly asked and I jumped a bit when he did that I accidentally hit him in the head, that hurt. What are you doing, Eri? Luffy exclaimed out as he held onto his pained head. Whoops. Sorry, I did that on instinct, GEH. No wait, it's your fault from the start. If you didn't sneak on me, I won't hit you. I exclaimed back with shark teeth. I was just asking, what are you whispering on about with Takao? You don't have to hit me. It hurts, you know. Luffy yelled back with shark teeth. Oi, stop yelling at each other, would you? You're making a ruckus, Usopp told us with a sweat drop. Besides, what are you guys yelling at each other for? You two are getting worked up on weird stuff sometimes. He added. That's not true. I replied back in order to deflect it. Yes it is. Usopp said. Tell me one about it. I replied. Your handwriting. Usopp replied back. But what I stated is true. No it's not. Your handwriting is nice. Luffy exclaimed. No it's not. It's a chicken scratch. I exclaimed back. What? When I told you it's nice, then it's nice. Are you blind? My handwriting is shit. Guys please. And for another minute, both Luffy and I are yelling at each other before Usopp hit us in the head, yelling at us for making a scene and making people looking at us with shark teeth, while both Kanes and Sanji-san are looking at us with sweat drop, and Takao is face-winged himself before we continue our journey on going to the gondola port. There, we can see many gondolas with various sizes and features. Hoa, there's tons of boats. Luffy and I commented in sync and in awe while the others are looking at the various gondolas boats that anchored near the dock. There are many kinds of boats anchored here. From hotel boats you can sleep onto high-speed types with large dials on board. There are many other models. Kanes explained to us as we keep on walking. Look at that gondola. Luffy suddenly exclaimed as he saw a really cool and big gondola. Oh dang, it looks great. Dang, the art on this boat gondola is amazing. The handiwork is good too. It looks like a Chinese gondola for rich people. Can we rent this one? I asked out with sparkly eyes. It looks so cool and comfortable. Yeah, it's going to be a nice gondola trip. Luffy added in excitement. Don't be ridiculous, we're going to save Nami-san and Robin-chan, not having a nice trip. Sanji-san said. Your boat is over here. Kanes said as we followed her again. I'm so pumped up. I wonder what kind of gondola is it? Luffy said in excitement. Probably a normal small boat or something. I commented bluntly with a grin until we stopped. And true enough, we stopped in front of a small gondola boat that belongs to Kanes and her dad. Here's your boat, Karasumaru. Kanes said, introducing our gondola with a smile. No way, Luffy said, looking so disappointed. A crow. It's not even a waterfowl, Sanji added. I used it until I became able to ride a waver. It might not go as fast as a waver, but it has 2 onboard breath dials. Please use it, Kanes said, not minding Luffy's disappointment at all. Okay guys, let's go, I exclaimed out as I jumped into the gondola in excitement. I'll drive. I added. No way you're driving. You can't even handle going merry. Usopp replied. How dare you? That's because I don't know how to drive it with that stick. I replied back. You're still not gonna drive it. No, I'm not going. I like that gondola better. Luffy said childishly as he pointed at the gondola we ogled on earlier. Oi Luffy, don't be selfish. It's a good thing that Kanes gave us her gondola. Be grateful. I scolded him, but that one is cooler. He replied back childishly. You don't like it. I'm sorry, but, Kanes apologized, but Sanji-san is knocking some senses to Luffy on being ungrateful and apologized to Kanes' kindness. Ye don't pay attention to his selfishness. He's always be like that. I told Kanes with a snicker as I saw Luffy's stupid face after Sanji-san knocked him some senses and he apologized to Kanes. I'm still gonna drive the boat. I added as I sat down on the driver's seat. No you're not. Usopp replied as he did a backhand motion. You can exit through the No. 2 gate. You will emerge on the wide milky road which leads to Upper Yard and just follow the road. Kanes told us as she pointed at the said gate. Ooh, thanks Kanes. Man, you're so kind to us pirates. If only people are like you, I'm sure the world will be a great world ever. I thanked her and she smiled. No, it's alright. I'm sorry that this is the only thing I can do to help. She replied in slight saddened tone, but please, be careful. But is it really okay though? For you escorting us here and telling us on how to meet our other crews? Usopp asked. You guys don't seem like bad people. Despite you guys being pirate, I think you all are good people, so I think it's alright. Kanes replied with a smile. You sure? I mean, we're dealing with God here. We don't want anything happen to you and your dad after all, you know, for telling us things about Upper Yard and the ordeals. I asked in slight worry before I realized that there are mist fogs slowly engulfing the port. It seems the others realized it too while Kanes actually looked pale and a bit scared over something. But before I can ask the others about the mist fog, it actually thickens and I barely can see anything in front of me. Oi, what the heck is wrong with this smoke? Luffy exclaimed out. It's not smoke, I think it's fog. I replied as I used my Kanbunshoku haki to detect my surroundings. Okay, I can feel the others are near Karasumaru, but then I feel unfamiliar presence near Kanes. I quickly jumped back to the land and kicked over the unfamiliar presence away from Kanes before I hear a pained grunt. Takao. Got it, Ojo-sama. Slowly, I hear Takao's flapping wings and the fog is slowly blown away. I looked around, but it seems the person that approached Canis is nowhere, even though I tried to use my hockey to spot them. I quickly approached Canis and checked on her for any injuries, but it seems that she's totally okay but still scared. Are you okay, Canis? I asked her and she nodded. What was that all about? I asked her. I think that's the fog ordeal, she answered softly. Unlike the other ordeals, it's the only ordeal that will happen here along with an upper yard. What did you say? That was one of the ordeals you told us about. Usopp exclaimed out in disbelief. How dare them attacking a lady like Canis-chan? And Eri Kwan is amazing as ever, Sanji-san swooned. But why did the ordeal actually happen here too? I thought ordeals and stuffs about, God, only happen in upper yard. I asked Canis. It's actually the only one that will happen here as a way to make the people here gets punishment for the sin they did.
Yo, quick pause, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're new here, share this video, and tell me in the comments which part you're loving the most.
Canis answered, usually the person that get the punishment was injured, either badly or lightly, based on how bad their sins are. Man, that priest must be a good person if they just injure the sinned person based on how bad their sin is and not killing them altogether or just injure all of them badly. I commented bluntly. Canis, Eri, you okay? Luffy asked and I nodded. Yeep, we're good. I replied with a grin before I turned to Canis, but this will be bad if that dang priest is back on hunting over Canis and her dad. Oh, Takao, you keep an eye over these two, would you? I told Takao and he sighed at that but he agrees. Are you sure it's okay to leave Takao to guard on Canis and her dad? Usopp asked in slight worry. Just saying, but Takao is actually pretty strong and using his devil fruit power, I'm sure he can kick people's asses better than you, Usopp. I replied with a mocking grin. What did you say? Usopp yelled with shark teeth while I just laughed. Now go, Canis. It will be bad if that stupid priest actually got your dad. Don't worry, Takao is strong, so you both will be fine. I told Canis as Takao turned to his griffin form, and if bad happens, I bet Takao can handle it too because he's smarter than me even though he's a bird. I added with a thumb up. Man, I'm sure having Eri as an owner is hard, isn't it? Usopp asked and Takao nodded as he sighed out in exhaust. The three of us jumped onto Karasumaru as I sat down on the driver's seat as I put pressure onto the gas pedal, which turning the gondola on and I turned the wheel as the gondola slowly moves on the white sea towards the gate. Hell yeah, this is nice. Alright, let's go to upper yard. Both Luffy and I exclaimed out in excitement while I drove Karasumaru to the gate and Usopp doesn't seem to have the same mood as us. No. Chapter 53. Is Canis gonna be alright? I know that you said that Takao can take care of her and her dad, but I'm still worried. Usopp asked in worry. Now, Usopp-kun. It seems like you didn't believe me at all, did you? I replied back with a grin. I told you, he's far stronger and smarter than you, Usopp. Don't worry too much. You just never see him fighting for real, aren't you? I added with a laugh. What do you mean by he's far stronger and smarter than me? Well, we'll just see it later. But now we gotta focus on saving the others first. Let Takao handle Canis and her dad. They'll be fine, I told him. It's not we had any other choice. I'd like to protect her myself, but there's no way we could have taken her with us. Sanji-san said. Yeah, it'd be a lot more dangerous with us. Usopp agreed. Yeah, especially with Luffy around because he's a trouble magnet. I added with a firm nod. You're the same, you know. Usopp replied with a backhand motion, we're going to the sacrificial altar. And there's horrific ordeals all set up for us. He added. Man, this thing is slow. Luffy complained at Karasumaru's slowness. This boat's several times heavier than a waiver. Don't be picky. Sanji-san told him. Besides, you can't even handle a waiver, Luffy. Don't be picky and just accept it. It's a good thing that Canis gave us this rather than none. I added as we're going down to a bigger milky road and he just booed. Oi look, what's that huge forest? Usopp pointed out as we're slowly going there. I think that's upper yard. I answered calmly. Sugui, was this forest on the map? Luffy asked. Ah, well, this map does have a forest on it, but it's not this big. Just a normal forest. Usopp replied as he checked on the old map. The guy who had that map was here over 200 years ago. And even then, that map might have already been old. Sanji-san said, I'd say it'd take at least 1.000 years for trees to grow this big. That, or maybe because the atmosphere here is different, so it makes the trees to grow faster than normal trees. Or maybe because no one is allowed there to cut down the trees so they kept on growing for 100 years. I added. That's true, Usopp agreed. They're so huge. It makes me want to climb one. Luffy commented excitedly. Slowly, we're finally about to enter the upper yard's entrance and on either side of us stand clay dolls like that are styled like Indian or Hawaiians. It's creepily cute but it seems Usopp isn't in the same thought as mine. Okay, if we're gonna turn back, this is our last chance. You'd better be ready, Usopp. Sanji-san told him with a grin. Then if possible, I'd like to go back. Don't be like that, Usopp. You should be brave just like when you're about to protect your village. Man, I remember when I was at your age, I started acting like I'm old even though I actually am, but that's different. You're younger than me. As we're finally entering the entrance, Usopp seems to be in horror while looking around of the forest and the stone statues. Then as there's something moving in the forest, Usopp seems to be in full alert mode, especially when he saw many shipwrecks all stuck on either side of us. Something's out there, Usopp exclaimed in fear. Well, it's a forest. Luffy replied. Yeah, that's right. Sanji-san agreed while I just nodded in agreement. Wait a second, you guys. Those are shipwrecks, Usopp pointed out. Well, it's a forest. Luffy replied again. Yeah, that's right. Sanji-san agreed again while I nodded again in agreement. That's got nothing to do with it, Usopp exclaimed out. What's more, all of these ships have been split in half, he pointed out before we heard something rustling from the forest. There it is again, Usopp said. Maybe there's like a trap or something, I said as I looked around. Okay Usopp. You take the wheel, I told Usopp as I stood up and left the wheel. You just don't want to deal with it, aren't you? And right as Luffy decided to take the wheel, I saw a huge blade with some kind of face decoration on it is coming toward us. Oh hey guys, there's the trap number 1. I pointed out calmly as the others panicked. Somehow in the panic, the guys managed to make the boat flew up a bit and dodge the trap, which resulting the blade to cut a shipwreck into half. A scythe monster, Luffy commented with pale face. Don't just say that, here comes another one, Usopp exclaimed out in pure horror and panic. Nah, it's actually more than one trap, I said calmly. How can you be so calm on this? Usopp yelled at me with comical tears and shark teeth. Paddle as hard as you can, Luffy exclaimed out as Usopp and Sanji-san took the oars and started paddling to dodge the traps. Good luck, you guys. Here comes another one, I cheered out while holding onto the boat and looking out for more traps. What the hell's going on? Sanji-san exclaimed out. Look ahead, put on the brake, Luffy. Usopp told Luffy. Damn, we're not gonna make it. Switch with me Usopp, Luffy told him as they both exchanged places, but instead Luffy actually paddling, he put the oar back and decided to sit on the back on the dials instead. What are you doing, Luffy? You should be aiming this way, Usopp exclaimed out. Just keep going straight. Gomu Gomu no bazooka. And just like that, Luffy bazookaed the Milky Road and the boat along with us flew up, dodging the blade. Good job, Lu, I cheered. That was close, Usopp exclaimed out as the boat landed back on the Milky Road. Here comes trap number 2, I told the others with a grin. True enough, this time instead of blades, it's sharpened woods that got launched toward us and one actually got the boat and the panic is back to us. I used my Kairoseki bow staff to hit all of them away from getting the boat again because honestly having a hole in your boat is the last thing we want, especially if it suddenly leaks in white, fluffy cloud that's slowly filling in and the boat slowly sink and we're all drowned or worse, got eaten by some unknown Sky Island animals. Stop monologuing dark stuffs, will you? Oh crap, I actually said it out loud. They'll just keep on coming, Sanji-san said. We'll get hit any second, Usopp said in panic. This is a pain, I'll stop them all, Luffy exclaimed in annoyance as he grabbed 2 of the sharpened woods and twisting his body up before he twisted back his body to normal while hitting off all the sharpened woods away from the boat. Gomu Gomu no Kazaguruma. After Luffy managed to hit all of them away, we finally got away from the trap number 2. We made it, Sanji-san said as he sighed in relief. I hope that's all, damn it. Usopp cursed as he's still focusing on driving the boat. Nah, there's another one, I said, which kinda crushes his hope on that and his face is pale again. Oi oi, are you serious? He whined out before he saw something glowing from the woods. What's that? He asked in not even a minute, something is flying towards us and we barely managed to dodge it as the others panicked at that. It's a boomerang, Luffy pointed out in horror. Oh shit, Sanji-san cursed in horror. Oh it's coming back here, I said as I watched the said boomerang is turning back towards us. It's coming back, run for it, I laughed happily and in excitement as the guys are panicking on dodging the boomerang as it kept on coming back and it eventually cut down some of the huge trees that stands tall around us. Usopp yelled at me for laughing at the misery, but I just ignored him and laughed harder as the panic is keep on going as the blade boomerang is back to give the others misery before we finally able to stay alive again from trap number 3. I think we finally made it, Usopp said in slight relief before turning to me. Don't tell me there's another trap. Maybe, I answered with a meaningful grin and he just paled up at that. But what are we gonna do now? We can't go back anymore. We've come too far from the entrance. He continued. Wanna get off here? Luffy asked as a suggestion. You idiot, we'll die. Looks like it, Sanji-san commented as he and I saw a huge lamprey actually coming towards us before the others saw the same thing and Usopp panicked. Then Sanji-san jumped towards the huge lamprey and kicked it away while Usopp is screaming in horror. What's that? A snake? Luffy asked as he looked at the flying lamprey that landed back into the Milky Road. It's a lamprey eel. Or a sky lamprey, I guess. Sanji-san answered. That thing will do more than suck our blood at that size. He added as he sat back down. This forest is so cool. Luffy said in awe. It's not cool in the slightest. Everything here is trying to kill us. Usopp replied back. Or trying to keep us away from something. I added with a grin. But we only just got here. Luffy added too. While we're on the Milky Road, it seems like if we stop to catch our breath, we're gonna be in deep shit. Our only choice is to keep moving forward. Sanji-san pointed out. Well, you're not wrong, Sanji-san. I agreed with a small laugh. Why are you so happy about all of this? I don't get you at all. Usopp yelled at me with comical tears and shark teeth. Now, don't be so worked up, Usopp. You're tiring yourself. I replied happily with a huge grin. As expected from Eri Kwan. So energetic and positive. Sanji-san swooned. Sometimes I really wondered on what star you're born at and why are you like this, Usopp replied back. Damn it, does it ever end? He added as he focused back on driving. But it hasn't gotten exciting yet. Those priests up ahead must really be looking forward to test us. Luffy said in excitement in his voice tone. What do you mean? You mean no one's been able to get into the ordeals until now? But what about that ordeal of fog that almost got Kanis before? Usopp asked. It's probably just the only one that happens often as it's not only happening in Upper Yard but also at Kanis's place. Man, that priest should be satisfied already on how many ordeals they did to people. I answered, besides, we still don't know what kind of power the god of this place have. Who knows how powerful he will be? I added. Yeah, that's right, he is God, after all. Usopp agreed in worry, he might have been watching us right now. He added in more worry. Since when are you so superstitious? You don't even live here. Sanji-san asked. That's not the issue here. Anyone called God has to be powerful. You're supposed to bow before guys like that even if you're not serious about it. Then you can talk to him. Usopp replied. True, but there are other gods in the world who aren't that powerful. Sanji-san replied back as he turned to both Luffy and Usopp, the god of being poor, or the god of jinxes. He said while looking at respective ones. Who are you talking about? But of course, the goddess of war is the powerful one. Sanji-san swooned as he looked at me. More like, the goddess of being creepy. Usopp commented before he got hit in the head by Sanji-san's foot but I just ignored it. Looks like while we've been sailing and talking, our next guests have decided to come forward and greet us. I commented as I feel something is coming towards us. True enough, it's another skylamprey like before and Usopp screamed in horror. Hey, do you think this big thing would taste good if it got barbecued? Luffy asked. Forget it. How can I cook something in a place like this? Sanji-san answered and Luffy booed at that before giving the skylamprey a punch and make it flew away from eating us in the boat in one bite. Man, this is fun. Imagine if this happened every day, Usopp. Should we get off here and start staying here for a few weeks? I asked him with a laugh. Are you crazy? I'll die first even before we finish a day here. It's scary. Give me a break. He yelled at me and I just laughed at that while the others too just watched in amusement. Whoa, now there's a giant in our way. Luffy pointed out as we turned to look back forward. There's a huge stone statue with face and some decorations carved onto it in a Buddhist way, along with 5 stones that stood in front of the huge statue with holes on them and some writings. No, it's a stone statue. Sanji-san said. Oi, then, is it a dead end? Luffy asked. No, there are 5 doors. Usopp pointed out. Don't tell me, they all lead to different locations. Sanji-san asked. Seems like it. I answered with a grin. Ordeal of fog, ordeal of swamp, ordeal of iron, ordeal of string, and ordeal of balls. Usopp read the writings above the whole doors as we slowly getting closer to the said statues. We can pick any one we want. Luffy said with a laugh. So now God wants to play a game with us. Sanji-san said in slight annoyance. 5 ordeals, which one do we choose? Usopp asked. Yosh, let's go with balls. Balls, Luffy said as he pointed at the ordeal of balls 1. Why, Luffy? Usopp asked. Well, it sounds like fun. Luffy answered. That's your reason. These are ordeals. They're not supposed to be fun. I also like balls. I added with a meaningful smile. Somehow I don't know how to react on your answers anymore, Eri. Usopp commented, but, I'm in favor of balls too. It's the only one that doesn't sound violent. He continued. The fog one too, actually. But considering fog means we barely can see anything, I'm pretty sure that some kinds of deep shit will happen and you guys can barely see what is happening. I pointed out while looking at the guys, in any case, we gotta be careful. I added, we have to make up our minds. We're almost there. Sanji-san said. Balls. Let's choose balls. Both Luffy and I said in sync. Why Yosh? When it comes down to it, trust both siblings' instincts. Usopp decided and turned the wheel toward the ordeal of balls. Wrong choice to do, Usopp. Then that's that. But don't get careless. We're on God's Island 10.000 meters above sea level. No one knows what kinds of strange things are gonna happen. Sanji-san warned. Let's go. Balls. Luffy exclaimed excitedly. As we slowly entered the balls 1, the place is so dark that I barely can see anything. Usopp is a bit panicking at the darkness and I laughed at that. It's still dark with my eyes open. Usopp said. Ah, hey, you know what this reminds me of? Luffy started in amusement. What? You know how there were 5 doors. One of them is a prize door, and the rest are all losing ones. I continued in amusement. Huh, what the hell? Why are you two saying that now? What if we picked the wrong one? Usopp replied in panic. If we've lost, well, Luffy started as he looked up to think. We'll probably fall off from Sky Island. I continued with a snicker. Screw that, I'm not falling off anything. It's 10.000 meters from here to Blue Sea. Usopp yelled with shark teeth as he turned to look at both of us, who just grins in amusement at him. You know how many times your life would flash before your eyes during that fall? Even falling has to have a limit. He continued while we both just laughed at that as we're slowly going towards the exit of the darkness. Enough of this dumb shit. Sanji-san commented with a sweat drop. There's no way that. And before he can finish his words, the milky road under our boat actually goes down drastically like a waterfall, and we're currently floating in the air while the other milky road for the 4 ordeals are went on straight that goes down to the forest normally like a slide, which resulting the others to get so shocked at this before they screamed out as the gravity took us back while I just laughed at this. No. Disclaimer: this story do not belong to me. The author is The Chronicle by Thief of Stealth. Chapter 54. Usopp, you alive? I asked while poking him in pure amusement at his reaction. I thought, we were really falling 10.000 meters, Usopp replied slowly, still pale and totally shocked to the core. Gosh, poor Usopp, but his reaction over stuffs is always the best. It's because you made up that dumbass story, Luffy. Sanji-san yelled at Luffy, kicking his head while Luffy just laughed his ass off. I was scared. I thought we were gonna die. Luffy commented while still laughing his ass off. But at least we didn't fall off 10.000 meters to the Blue Sea. I said while patting Usopp's shoulder with a snicker as he moved away from the wheel of the boat to calm himself down, and Sanji-san decided to take the wheel. There, Usopp. Want some candies? I asked, offering Usopp some candies, but it seems that he's still shell-shocked from before. So what is this place? Sanji-san asked as we minus Usopp looked around the place. Those are balls, Luffy replied. Balls, I added. As far our eyes looked, there are white balls floating all over the place in the air. It's actually looked pretty cute, but I'm sure as hell there are traps inside. Though, not all of them are dangerous. Some are pretty much harmless. They're little balls of island cloud. Sanji-san pointed out. Awesome, they look like huge snowballs. This place is so weird. It's funny, Luffy commented with a laugh. And the Milky Road is going up into the trees, Sanji-san continued. Ah, nice. Now we can actually look over the trees better to find some stuff. I commented. But, what part of this place is supposed to be the ordeal? Luffy asked in wonder. No idea, Sanji-san replied. It'd be great if nothing happens, but I doubt it'll be that easy. Maybe we'd pick the right one. If we'd chosen a different entrance, maybe we'd be suffering some horrible fate now, huh? Luffy said, which actually bringing Usopp back to life. Maybe you're right. See, idiots, don't fool yourselves. Who the hell would prepare a prize door for criminals? Sanji-san asked in slight annoyance. I mean, if the said criminals are kind people like us, I would prepare some banquets. I commented with a grin. Eri-kwan, you're so kind. Sanji-san swooned before he's back serious, but still, there may be some hidden traps like earlier. Stay sharp, he said. Anyway, let's just keep going forward. I'm thirsty. Let's have some tea, Luffy suggested. Ah, that's a good idea. Open up the senbei in your backpack too. Usopp continued. Ah, sounds good. You guys, Sanji-san started. Come on, we can have one skysenbei, can't be? Luffy argued. Yeah, let's eat. Usopp continued. No, I'm hungry though, can't we just eat our kaikoku bento? I asked, holding my stomach. You just ate lunch an hour ago. Usopp replied with a sweat drop and half-lidded look. Oi Usopp, can I eat yours? I asked him as I took out his bento from the bag. Don't you dare. Listen, I'm gonna keep steering, so you guys keep a lookout. Sanji-san said, and the other two just go, Ed, but did it anyway while I ate Usopp's bento and do the same like them. Whoa, I didn't realize we were this high up. Usopp commented as he looked around from the boat, and Eri. Are you seriously eating my bento? He asked with shark teeth. I'll save some for you later. Don't worry about it, I replied as I ate his bento happily. Hey, Usopp, pass, Luffy said as he grabbed one of the cloud balls and started passing it to Usopp with a light push. Okay, alright, pass, Usopp replied back as he passed back the ball happily. Oh boy, that one contains a sky snake. I said to keep a lookout. Sanji-san yelled at them with shark teeth, and they just, Ed, back before the said sky snake suddenly emerged out from the ball as it passed to Usopp, which make the two idiots screamed out at that. I punched the ball away before the sky snake bit Usopp, who just totally shocked to the core. That scared me. What the hell? Luffy commented as he looked at the sky snake ball away. Sanji. Ahead. Cloud. Usopp yelled out as he pointed to the front and Sanji-san turned back to the front. Don't kick it, it will explode, I exclaimed out as I pushed the ball away using my bow staff, but unfortunately, it's still too close to us that we also get the residue of the explosion, which makes us a bit burnt comically and our hair all frizzy. Aw dang it, my hair's all frizzy, I commented as I tried to straighten up my hair. What the hell is up with these balls? Usopp yelled out before we heard a ho 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 laugh from the forest. It's fun to see what pops out. Someone said in a sing-a-song tone, I call them surprise clouds. He continued, surprise clouds. Luffy asked out as the guys are looking around with Usopp being the one that's totally paranoid from all of us before the said guy, Hesso, Ed, to us as he's actually sitting on one of the balls that floats behind us. Gosh, this guy is totally like balls, isn't he? Even his body is like the balls that float all over in the forest. Thank you for choosing my ordeal of balls. He said happily before he, ho 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 Ed, again. What's with the dango guy? Sanji-san commented as we looked at the said priest with sweat drop, don't tell me he's one of the priests. He wondered out as we looked at the priest, who's jumping on the ball happily. So you're the ball's ordeal. You're a ball. Luffy asked out. Stop dancing. Who the hell are you? Sanji-san asked out in annoyance with shark teeth, yet the priest guy is still doing what he's doing from seconds ago, ignoring Sanji-san. What the, he looks stupider than I expected. Usopp commented. Didn't Nami and that Asen say that they were really strong? Luffy asked out. Oi, Dango. Nami-san and the others better be safe. Sanji-san yelled out to the Dango guy. Do you mean the sacrifices? If so, then I don't know. If we leave them alone, they'll die. And if they escape by some chance, they'll still die. Dango guy replied, still doing his weird dance. What did you say? You should be more worried about yourselves. To put it bluntly, you're going to have to defeat me before you go any further. He said as he floats towards us. Here he comes. Luffy, do it. Beat him up. Usopp told Luffy while hiding behind me. Yosha, I'll knock him out of the sky. Luffy replied, getting ready to punch the Dango guy off, but of course, Dango guy able to dodge it easily and attacked Luffy using a dial that's hidden inside his glove, which he got flown off from the boat to the tree across from the boat. Luffy. Sanji-san called out as Luffy slid down from the tree, somehow he fell unconscious because of the impact. Luffy. Oi, you're alright, aren't you? A weak punch like that shouldn't hurt you. Usopp yelled out in disbelief. A punch. It's a little different from a punch. Dango guy commented. What's so different? Sanji-san replied back in annoyance as he went to attack Dango guy, but just like before, he managed to dodge Sanji-san's kick again and did the same he did to Luffy to Sanji-san, which also make him flew off from the boat to the same tree where Luffy is. The ability granted only to those who practice the art. Dango guy started mantra. Oh wow, he's pretty good, I commented as I ate a skysenbei calmly while watching it all happen. Sanji. Usopp called out before the Dango guy did the same to him too, just like the other two guys before. Whoa, they flew away pretty far. I commented as I looked how far the guys flew off and sidestepped when Dango guy's about to do the same to me. Give it up, I can predict all of your movements better than you and faster than you. I told him as I munched on the skysenbei and pushed him away using the tip of my bow staff, which he can't dodge because I'm faster than him. No way, how can you? Dango guy started as he's holding his stomach I hit before. Gay, this senbei is so salty. I commented while still munching on the skysenbei. I wonder what kind of skyfishes we can eat later. I wonder if it tastes great. Eri-chan, are you okay? I heard Sanji-san asked from below. I'm great, thanks. I replied back as I grabbed another skysenbei while watching Dango guy. You guys should try to kick this Dango guy's ass first, because this will be the first lesson on how to beat a guy that can predict your movements later in the near future just like I can do. I'll just stay on the boat. Good luck, I told them as I put pressures on the gas and make the boat move forward. I can't let you do that. Bye, Dango guy. Good luck guys. I exclaimed out with a laugh as I drove the boat forward, following the milky road with pretty much the highest speed the boat can get for me to leave the guys with the source of the problem. Wait Eri, don't leave Usheere. I heard Usopp yelled out while I just laughed and munching on another skysenbei. I pushed away some balls that float near the boat using my bow staff and many kinds of surprises showed up, though only one of them is harmful while the rest are just duds. I was watching the Dango guy and the guy's antics from afar while munching on skysenbeis before I saw Usopp is using one of his inventions to reach the boat. I think he named it Usopp Aw, or something, which is a belt with rope thing which made him like a Tarzan. He was acting all cool and nice when he used his invention and actually reached the boat, but unfortunately he made the rope fixed to the belt, so he can't release it and he swung back and forth, where Luffy actually did the same with a vine and did the Tarzan call too. In the end, Sanji-san beat those two up for that I laughed so hard at the scene that I shed a tear. But then I heard a whistle sound from afar deep in the forest, which means that Chopper is probably in danger. I really hope nothing really bad happened to him, along with the other three guys because I heard explosions too. It seems that I almost at the end of the forest and I heard a really loud explosion, which means the dang ordeal will finish soon. True enough, a few minutes later, Usopp's invention from before actually clung around Karasumaru and the guys eventually came along as I never stopped the boat, which means that they hit over plenty trees along the way until they landed on the boat. Ooh, it seems you guys are having fun. How is it just then? I asked with a grin as I saw their beaten up bodies. Eri, how dare you leave us, like that? Usopp said. Well, at least you guys made it here. I replied, want some? I asked, offering them Skysenbase. No thanks. As we're finally exited the forest into another forest, the guys finally able to calm down and back to their normal selves as I gave the wheel to Sanji-san. Like making impressions. Like I was saying, Usopp, you do it like this. Luffy started with a laugh. Okay, Yosh. Hey, wake up, you dimwit. Usopp said. Wah, morning already. Luffy replied, making Zoro's kind of impression. That's just like Zoro. Cough, cough. Usopp commented with a laugh before he got cut off because the coughs. Quit goofing off, you dorks. Sanji-san yelled at them, we don't know what's happened to Nami-san or Robin-chan, he started. What about Zoro, Chopper, and Flame? Luffy asked, reminding him about them. There are still 4 priests out there. They might be enduring one of their ordeals. Sanji-san continued, ignoring Luffy's question while Luffy actually did an impression of Sanji-san embarrassing moment about the, this is the ordeal of love, from before in both Usopp and me and wheezing out at the exact impression, along with the hairstyle and the curly eyebrow. And that of course, made them got beaten up by Sanji-san. For now, we have to keep heading towards the sacrificial altar. Agreed, Sanji-san asked in annoyance while trying his best to turn on his lighter to light his cigarette. Bees. Bur bui sawi. Yes, we're very sorry. Both Luffy and Usopp answered with beaten up faces while I just wheezing over their faces. In any case, you guys better tell me stuffs about the ordeal later, okay? I'll write it down on the logbook later. I told them with a grin. Yeah, sure. Luffy answered as he and Usopp were back on goofing off again by singing some songs and making Sanji-san yelled at them again, which they just laughed at that. Man, they sure are having fun after they almost got killed by one of the priests. I'm sure it's because of the adrenaline tension from before. But Mon, this place is starting to get crowded and noisy soon enough. Mon, this is gonna be fun. As we're slowly finally exited the second forest, we were brought to an open field. Though it seems it's not a normal open field. Oi, what is this place? Luffy asked. I think I know. This is the area for the next ordeal. Sanji-san said, another priest might be gonna be coming. Stay on your guard. Man, just one ordeal was more than enough for me, damn it. Usopp cursed, what's gonna come next? Will it be string, iron, swamp, fog? Looks like a regular grassy field to me. Luffy said, yeah, if human skulls on poles that grows all over the field is normal to you, then yes it is regular. I commented calmly with a grin. This ain't regular. Open your eyes and take a good look. Those are skulls on the poles. Usopp replied in horror. Whoa, you're right. What's up with that? Luffy commented out as we finally got closer to the ground of the field where the skulls on poles are also around and closer for us to see. Is another one of those priests gonna show up? Usopp exclaimed out in panic and horror. Sounds like fun. What ordeal are we gonna face next? Luffy replied in excitement. You idiot. If we lose to the priest, we'll be killed and end up on poles like them. Don't worry, we won't lose. Just as Luffy finished saying that, we heard loud yells from the forest along with bunches of people and an explosion. Something's coming, both Luffy and I said in sync. What? Iron, string, swamp, fog, are they all coming at once? Usopp asked out in panic. That'd certainly save us the trouble. Sanji-san commented calmly. Just as he finished saying that, the same person from this morning and 3 other people are jumped over our boat, before the same gorilla person from this morning but without the mask shot a cannon at us, which got deflected away by Luffy's Gomu Gomu no Fusen and it exploded off when it got deflected into the forest. Ooh, the guy from this morning. I commented with a grin. Oi, what was that for? You wanna try me? Jerk, bring it on. Luffy yelled out at the gorilla people. It was you, wasn't it? The Blue Sea dwellers who were causing trouble on Skypia. The one from this morning asked. Trouble? What kind of trouble, dang it? I tried to not making any troubles and you're accusing us for making troubles. You wanna go, punk? I yelled at him while pointing at him and Usopp's holding me up from doing stuffs. No, please don't do tot. Usopp begged at me with comical tears. Oi, Luffy, that's the masked gorilla who came at us in the White Sea. Sanji-san told Luffy. Scary, scary, Sky Island scary. Usopp exclaimed out in horror as he let me go and went crouching down in the corner of the boat. There, Usopp. Want some candies? I asked him calmly, offering him some candies in hand while I patted his shoulder. I don't want it. If you value your lives, return to the Blue Sea. If you get any stupid ideas about trying to start something on this island, the guy from this morning started, then we'll eliminate you like we will to Enel. Those guys are planning to eliminate Enel. Which means that the gorilla and God are on different sides. Sanji-san wondered out. Seems like it, I replied. They're not priests. Then let's just forget about them and get out of here, Luffy. Usopp begged Luffy with comical tears. What was that, jerk? Come down here, I'll kick your ass. Stop it, please, leave them alone. I'm coming up there. Don't move from that spot. Get ready for the ass beating of your life. You guys really have too much energy, I commented as I watched both Luffy and Usopp. But then again, I don't know if you'll even be able to make it off this island. The guy commented again before he's off into the depth of the forest with his friends, which makes Usopp sigh out in relief as he let Luffy go and lay down in relief. There, Usopp. Want some candies? I asked him again calmly, offering him the same candies in hand while patting his shoulder. Yes please and thank you, Usopp replied as he took one. Who are those guys? Luffy asked out. All we know is that they're God Enel's enemies, as well as ours. Sanny-san replied. Damn it, this island sucks, Usopp commented with comical tears. Let's keep going, Sanji-san said. Oh, I must not go into this jungle disease. Usopp started. Man, I'm hungry, Luffy said as he grabbed the bag and took one bento box out. How can you be thinking of food? I can't even stand up. Usopp replied. Let's eat our bentos and sing Sanji-san's song to lift our spirits. I exclaimed out as I took out my bento box and started eating it. Okay, give me your hand. That's wrong. It goes like this. Chapter 55. I just laughed as Sanji-san started to sing the actual song while eating my bento and Usopp is yelling at me for eating his bento before. I just offered him an onigiri before I ate the rest of my bento, which of course he yelled at me again for eating his bento and not sparing anything for him. Oh yeah, Eri, what was that about? You know, about that weird priest. He can read all of our next movements, you know. Luffy asked. Oh that's mantra, or Kanbunshoku no Haki. Actually, both are the same, just different names. I replied with a grin as I took out a jar of cookies. Mantra, Kanbun, what? Usopp echoed back. Kanbunshoku no Haki, or mantra, is a form of Haki that allows the user to observe the presence of others, which also makes them can predict movements all around the user. But if they lose their concentration or calm, then they can't predict anything. I explained as I took a bite from a cookie I brought with me for snacking. But even so, they can't predict anything that's random or too fast. For example, if Usopp's about to attack me, then I can predict what kind of attack he'll do. But if he's accidentally slipped, which makes his attack went off to somewhere and actually made something fell to get me, then I can't predict it because all I predict is Usopp's going to attack me, but not Usopp's going slipped and the said thing is going to get me. But it's still Usopp's attack, so the prediction is still right. It's just the form of the attack that's not right. I continued while munching on the cookie before putting another one into my mouth. And of course, if Usopp's faster than me, then his attack will also get me if he's not slipped. If the user is slower than the one movement they predict, then they still can't dodge the attack. I finished as I gulped down my water. So if we're going to attack those guys that can use mantra or kanbun whatever, be sure to be faster than the user. Usopp concluded. To put it lightly, just like Usopp said, you gotta be faster than the user if you want to beat them. Or just try to make them panic so they lose their concentrations. Or just wait for them to tire out. I replied with a nod. I see, so it's a mystery power. Luffy said with a grin. As expected from Eri Kwan. So knowledgeable. Sanji-san swooned. Though, if your instinct is just sharp, then you can just predict someone's movements, or just by observing them very closely. Just like Luffy usually did sometimes. I told them while pointing at Luffy, and if anyone really tries hard, they can also train themselves to use Kanbunshoku no Haki, as everyone basically can, but the said power is still sleeping deep inside you. I added. But Eri-chan, this Kanbunshoku no Haki is not something you can use all the time, right? Sanji-san asked. No. Unless the user is just strong and have more experience than any other users, then they can use it anytime they want. Heck, they even can predict the future if they're amazing. I answered, though I never find anyone with that kind of strong Kanbunshoku no Haki, especially in the Marines. Or at least, not yet when I trained Hakis there with my JII-chan years ago. Marines. Eri, you actually trained with the Marines? Usopp asked out in slight panic. Yeep. I asked JII-chan to train me Hakis. He brought me to Marines HQ, Marineford, for me to train Hakis with other Marines. It was hell, but it's also nice. I replied with a small laugh in nostalgia. He even dislocated my arms so I can train on attacking only by using my legs. Man, it truly was hell. Who, with your JII-chan, wait. Aren't your JII-chan as Luffy's too? He's a Marine. Usopp asked out in panic. Yeep. He really beat us up to the punch every time Ace or Luffy said that they're going to be pirates instead of Marines like him, while I refuse to be a Marine and will follow Luffy's future road. I answered as I stretched out. Your JII-chan sounds like a scary old man. Oh, he's far scarier than any beasts, for sure. Nay, we've been sailing for a long time, Sanji. Luffy said to Sanji-san. Yeah, in the end, we got through that field without anything happening to us. Sanji-san replied, let's keep up this streak of nothing happening. Yeah, there's no doubt that we'll live through this. Usopp said and let out a scared sound when the boat is going down. What now? Ooh, spirally milky road. This is so cool. I pointed out while leering down from the boat. What's the point of spinning around like this? Usopp commented before both of us got dizzy because of the spirally milky road. Maybe so we're not going down all of a sudden like before. I replied as both of our eyes are making spirally form comically. Ooh, we're going fast. Luffy commented with a laugh. No, you idiot, we're falling. Oh god, the dang milky road is messing with me because instead of normal road, it's a spinning and spirally road. I swear to god if I even get to know anyone that makes this dang road, I will kick them off from Sky Island to Blue Sea because of this ridiculous road. I would enjoy it if the spirally milky road is the last one and my stomach is empty. After a while, the road is finally back to normal and god bless me for that. Hey, it's getting dark. Are we gonna make it all the way to the altar? Usopp asked in worry. Don't worry, Usopp, we're almost there, I told him with a grin. The sun's setting, Sanji-san commented. I can't see through the clouds. Usopp said, using his goggles to see through the clouds where the said sun is setting. So Sky Island has sunsets too. Luffy commented. We were just looking at the milky road in front of us calmly and quietly as the road is slowly going up real high right over a tall tree under the road. We're above the trees again. This time it's a huge tree. Luffy commented happily as we're still going up. Oi, you've gotta take this more seriously, Luffy. Usopp told Luffy, what is this? This feeling, is there gonna be something at the end? I have a feeling that at the end of the milky road, those priests are gonna be waiting for us. Sanji-san said calmly. This is great, I'm pumped up for this. Luffy said as we're at the top of the tree before we slid down real fast. Are we gonna spin again? Usopp asked out. Maybe this time we're gonna fall off 10.000 meters down from Sky Island. I commented. Don't joke stuffs like that. Hey, there's something down there. Sanji-san pointed out as we saw something at the bottom of the road. There. It must be the priests. Usopp replied in panic. No, they're sky sharks. I said. Oh, so it's not the priests. It's just some sky sharks. Oi, 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 are you serious? Ah, they're huge. They're gonna swallow us whole. Usopp exclaimed out in panic while Luffy sat up on Karasumaru's head and punched all of the sky sharks using his Gomu Gomu no Gatling gun, which knocked them all out and we landed not so smoothly on the white lake below us, making us got soaking wet because of it. We're soaking wet, Usopp commented. Ah crap, my clothes all wet. I cursed when I grimaced at the feeling of soaking cloth on my skin. Ooh, hey, look, we found him. It's the Going Merry Go. That must be the altar. Luffy pointed out before we actually saw Zoro, Nami, and Robin-san near the trees and not anything near Merry. Hi, Nami-san, Robin-kwan, did you miss me? I overcame the ordeal of love. Sanji-san exclaimed out with hard eye. What, was that the only ordeal we had to endure? Luffy wondered out with a laugh. Do any of you lose a limb or something while waiting for us? I asked out happily. Were you guys scared? Rest easy now that Captain Usopp is here. Usopp exclaimed out proudly, even though he's the one that scared the most between the four of us. And as we're arrived at the altar, I saw Chopper and Flamer covered with bandages, along with Mary Go's mast is nowhere to be seen. Seems like you guys are having a hard time. I commented bluntly, though it's a good thing you guys are okay. But still, what the hell happened? It's a long story, but to put it simply, a priest with a lance that burns everything came and the Knight of the Sky came to help us after I blow the whistle. Chopper answered. Wow, you have it rougher than any of us. I commented, there, Chopper. Want some candies? I asked him as I offered him some candies. Ah, thank you. Chopper replied as he took one. What's with you asking and offering some candies anyway? Usopp commented with a sweat drop. So where's that weird Asen now? Luffy asked Chopper. He's inside. He's resting right now. Chopper answered as we followed him inside. True enough, as we stepped inside, we saw the Knight of the Sky is resting on the bed of the medical bay in the kitchen dining room area, sleeping. Just for using that one whistle blow he gave us for free, he fought this hard for us. Luffy said as he looked closer to the Asen. If the Knight of the Sky hadn't come, the ship, Flame, and I would be long gone. Chopper said. There's a lot I wanna ask him, but it can wait until he wakes up. And we owe you some thanks too. Sanji-san said to Pierre, who just nodded at that before Luffy is actually playing with the Asen's mustache beard, which made Pierre shocked and Chopper is calling him for doing that. Well, with the ship in this condition and night approaching, we won't be able to get back to Angel Island until tomorrow. So let's camp up somewhere and eat those sky sharks that Luffy knocked out earlier. I exclaimed out happily as I ran outside, let's set up a camp and eat those sky sharks. I told the others who were outside. Ooh, good idea, Eri.
Yo, quick pause, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're new here, share this video, and tell me in the comments which part you're loving the most.
Luffy agreed as he followed me along with the others. Well then, let's camp up near the shore in the forest. Sanji-san said. Why? Luffy asked. If a fight broke out here, we'd end up damaging the ship even more. You should think about things like that. Usopp answered. Not to mention that it's easier to fight on the shoreline than here. Sanji-san added. Alright, camping, party. Luffy cheered up and I just laughed at that while Usopp is yelling at him because of that. Well, Luffy's favorite pastime is having a party, so yeah. I prefer having a banquet than a party, but in a party, there are also foods. Yosh, let's start by barbecuing these sky sharks. Both Luffy and I said in sync as we jumped off from Mary to Karasumaru, using it to grab 3 sky sharks and threw it to the shore before we turned back to the sacrificial altar where everyone is for them to jump along and go to the shoreline. After a while and the camp is stood along with campfire, both Luffy and I are eating our respective sky sharks after they're cooked enough for us to eat while the others are sitting down around the campfire, doing their things. Oh man, the sky shark tastes pretty nice. The meat is so fluffy and juicy. Unlike fishes from the blue sea, this one is literally fluffy and easy to digest. This is delicious, Luffy commented and I just nodded in agreement. Indeed it's delicious. Geez, you two will eat anything. Nami commented as she watched us eating. Want to try a bite, Nami? I asked her, offering her my barbecued sky shark. Geez, Eri, I still don't get why you have the same appetite as Luffy, especially when you're a girl. She continued as she took a small piece of the sky shark meat. What? I just love food and eating, okay. Don't judge me, I replied with a laugh as I took another bite. Alright, quiet down. We're getting ready to hear everyone's reports. Usopp announced out. Alright, first one is Sanji. We went to the Lost Forest, where we met a priest named Satori who used these surprise balls. Sanji-san started as he stops grinding over the sky shark's meat for the night Asan to eat. It was bad enough with all those surprise balls floating around with who knows what inside them, but what got us the most was this mantra technique he used to predict our movements. He finished. Alright, thank you, Sanji. Next one, Chopper. A priest named Shura appeared out of nowhere using this lance that would burn anything. Plus, he could predict my movements. Chopper started. I tried all kinds of attacks on him, but he avoided them. The bird he was riding spat out some fire and started burning the main mast, then he impaled the Knight of the Sky. Alright then, Chopper. Last one, Nami. You guys sure had a rough time. Nami commented, but, we discovered that this island is actually a piece of Jaya. The city of gold didn't sink into the ocean, but it was shot into the sky. She finished and Usopp nodded at that before he wrote all the main points of the reports to the blackboard. I threw away the bones of the sky shark as I finished eating it to the side as I took out my logbook and started writing down the reports as well. Yush, thanks for your reports, everyone. We've gathered some valuable information from all this. But, the most important thing we've learned is this. Usopp announced out as he pointed on the blackboard right at the point where Sky Island, or the upper yard part, is Jaya. This island is where the city of gold that the Tsuruyama allied forces were searching for has been. Really? Luffy asked in disbelief and shock. I just said that, Nami told him. Well, Luffy's too busy eating, so he didn't hear anything. I said with a laugh. Gold, I've been waiting for an adventure like this. I'm itching to get out there. Luffy exclaimed out in excitement. That's the spirit. Then everything's settled. Nami replied happily. Hey, Luffy. Did you forget what those gorillas said? Usopp told Luffy with pale face and I just laughed at that. Gold, I've been waiting for this sparkling part. I wonder how many treasure and money we can get. I cheered up as my eyes turned into belly sign. God's gonna get mad, you know. And he's scary. Chopper said. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? Robin-san said with a small laugh. Well, pirates can't pass up a chance to steal some treasure. Sanji-san added. And there are plenty of enemies out there. This is gonna be about survival. Sounds like fun, Zoro said with a grin. Gee guys, we can be a little afraid of God. Don't blame me if you all get damned. Usopp replied with tears. I think this God guy will be fine. Luffy can kick his ass, while I take the gold. I replied back with a grin. Eri, not you too. I thought you believed in God. He said. This is not the real heaven, you fool. And this God guy is just a God complex guy with devil fruit power. He's not invisible. Let's gamble on which one will be beaten up, Luffy or this God guy. I put 10.000 on Luffy. I told him with a cheer as I took out a 10.000 belly while Usopp just cried in the corner over it and I laughed at that. Yosh, gold, here we come. Chapter 56. What are you doing, Usopp? I asked as I approached him while he took off his shoes with plenty wood boards, ropes, and some other things beside him. It's almost dinner time, you know. I was just going to bring this wood over to the ship so I can repair it tomorrow. Usopp answered and he turned to look at me. And were you planning to swim across? I asked. Yeah, he replied. Now that I think about it, I think the sky sharks are awake already by now. I pointed out and right I finished my words. A skyshark made a small leap and plenty of skysharks are swimming back and forth in the white lake as both Usopp and I looked at it together in silence. In the end, Usopp changed his mind. Repairs can wait, till morning. Let's go eat dinner, Eri. Usopp called as he's already off first back to the camp. I laughed at his reaction as I grabbed his shoes and followed him back to the camp. Hey, Usopp, your shoes, I told him as I threw his shoes to him. Oh thanks. I approached Sanji-san as he gave Chopper 2 bowls of stew before he gave one to me. I thanked him as I took it and sat down on one of the huge roots near Sanji-san. Ooh, there's a heart-shaped carrot. Nice. I took a spoonful of the stew along with the heart-shaped carrot and I let out a happy sound. Ooh, it tastes nice. Sanji-san, it tastes amazing. I told Sanji-san, thanks for the heart-shaped carrot too. I added happily as I took another spoonful into my mouth. No problem, Eri-kwan. Sanji-san replied. Alright, a heart-shaped carrot. Usopp commented as he sat down next to me and ate a spoonful of the stew with the heart-shaped carrot. I appreciate it, Sanji. He thanked Sanji-san, who seems totally both angry and disappointed. Well, was my stew of love delicious? Sanji-san asked Usopp darkly, who doesn't seem to really get it while I just snickered at it. Okay, guys, I'm gonna explain how we should plan to move tomorrow. You can keep eating, but listen up. Nami announced out as I saw Luffy is approaching with an empty bowl and a spoon in hands, giving it to Sanji-san, who just scooped in stew into the bowl back and forth every time Luffy finished it in one gulp. Everyone ready? First off, let's review Norland's picture book. Norland first discovered the City of Gold about 400 years ago. But, a few years later, when he visited Jaya again, the golden ruins had disappeared. Nami continued as Sanji-san finally realized Luffy's antics, which made him to push his head using the lid of the huge pot. Hey, are you listening? Nami asked in slight annoyance. But, Nami-san, he started it. Sanji-san replied, pointing at Luffy while I laughed at the scene and Usopp just sweat dropped at it. Let's move on. That means, at some point during those few years, Jaya broke apart, and this island was shot into the sky. Nami continued. Was it brought here by the knock-up stream? Chopper asked. Yes, that's the only plausible explanation. Nami replied. Cricket-san said that the explosions occur at different places on the ocean floor every time. That thing was pretty big. Even an island would get blasted up. Usopp commented. But from the looks of it, this forest is completely different from the one we went through on Jaya. Zoro pointed out. That's probably due to the composition of the sea cloud and island cloud here. Robin-san explained. The environment seems to abnormally affect the rate and degree of growth of the plants and animals. If that's the case, it would explain how the forest had overtaken that civilization. That reminds me, the Southbird who helped us out of the lake was this big. Chopper said, making the motion of how big the Southbird is as I took a bowl of stew from Sanji-san and put it down onto the ground for Flame to eat. Well, they must have grown larger over the last 400 years. Zoro replied. But, what I want to know is why would that huge Southbird save you? Sanji-san asked as he walked up to Zoro to throw a bowl of stew at him and sat down beside him while Zoro quickly get a grip over the bowl before giving Sanji-san a look. Well, I don't know. But all of the Southbirds were calling the Night of the Sky, God. Chopper answered while the others turned to look at Knight Asen in surprise. God, then I should kick this Asen's ass. Luffy asked out. Of course not, you scatterbrained idiot. Usopp yelled at him. Okay, that's enough. Settle down, scatterbrains. Nami exclaimed out. There, see, who's a scatterbrain? You are. Anyway, does anyone recall what was written about the City of Gold in Norland's logbook? Nami asked. I do. I saw gold. Luffy answered, bringing up his hand. No shit, dumbass. If you're just gonna state the obvious, then keep your mouth shut. Usopp yelled at him again. If I remember correctly, there was something about a huge bell made of gold. And then the stuff about the Southbirds, Sanji-san said. There was a rather peculiar statement on the last page of the book. The final words Norland wrote before he died. Robin-san started. The skull's right eye is where I saw the gold. I continued happily as I took another scoop of the stew. Exactly. Nami said as she took the maps of Skypia and Jaya, look at these. I put the map Robin picked up on Jaya over part of the old Skypia map. She continued as we approached her to see her point. It's a little rough, but if you bring the coasts of these two maps together, this is the topography of Jaya, 400 years ago. Ooh, it looks like a skull. I commented. Wow, a skull. Luffy commented. It looks like a skull. Chopper commented. Well, Nami asked out. Cool. Both Luffy and I cheered up at this in sync. That's brilliant, Nami-san. Sanji-san complimented as Chopper cheering up over this. So then, the skull's right eye, Usopp started. Here, Nami pointed at the right eye of the skull on the map. Norland was referring to the island as a whole. But now, only half of the island is left. That's why we couldn't solve the mystery. She continued. I see, so that's why. Usopp replied as he sat down next to Nami and looked closer to the map. Treasure. Luffy, Chopper, and I cheered out together happily. All we have to do is head straight for that point. Nami continued, we can't leave the ship unguarded, so tomorrow we'll split up into 2 teams. I want to go explore tomorrow. I vote on being the explorer. I exclaimed out while I brought up my hand. Yes, yes, you'll be the explorer number 1. Nami replied with a sigh and I cheered out at this, there's a fortune in gold just waiting for us. She continued as I saw the belly sign glinted on her glasses. Nami, I can see your love for money, you know. We continue on eating the stew, especially both Luffy and I are the ones who kept on eating the stew until we're full. I let out a sigh as I patted my stuffed stomach happily. There'll be gold tomorrow, Chopper said in excitement as he gathered up the dirty bowls. That's right, Nami replied as she gathered the dirty spoons with a small, happy laugh. You think tomorrow will be sunny again? Luffy asked out in excitement for tomorrow. Sure, we're on top of the clouds after all. Usopp replied as he added another wood into the campfire. It's getting late, there's no need for the fire, so we should put it out. Robin-san said, we'll give away our location to our enemies. She continued while both Luffy and Usopp looked at each other before Luffy let out a short smug laugh as Usopp had the same expression as him. What a stupid idea. You hear that, Usopp? Can you believe what she just said? Put out the fire. Luffy pointed out smugly as Robin-san seems a bit taken aback by the response. Oh man, there they go again. I commented softly with a sweat drop. It can't be helped. Don't be so hard on her. Robin's a woman who has lived her entire life in darkness. She just doesn't know. Usopp replied as Rabin-san is getting more confused at this. What do you mean? Robin-san asked in confusion as both boys turned to look at her before they went all fours in front of her, crying comically. We're supposed to have a campfire. Luffy pointed out. It's human nature to have a campfire when camping, even if it costs us our lives. Usopp continued. You're the stupid ones. Nami commented with a tick mark while I just laughed at the scene. Mo, that's enough fooling around. You know how dangerous this forest is, right? She argued to Luffy. Don't care, he replied back. There are priests out there. And gorillas too. And even without them, forests like this are still dangerous at night. There are probably fierce beasts or monsters lurking out there. She continued. But Nami, you're far scarier than any monsters. I commented bluntly, which resulting her to hit me in the head. Monsters. Sky Island scary, Sky Island scary. Oi, Luffy, Zoro called, is this enough wood? He asked, showing up a big campfire skeleton along with Sanji-san too. You guys are in on this too. Don't worry, Nami-san. Wild animals are naturally afraid of fire. Sanji-san replied with a laugh as he brought up a torch and there are plenty glowing eyes behind him. Behind you, there's something there, Nami exclaimed out with comical tears. It's just skywolves, Nami. Don't worry about it, I told her as a skywolf stepped into the light and this one got a scar on his right eye before he actually growling things to Sanji-san in a tone like he's telling him something. Oi, he's saying something. Come translate, Chopper, Sanji-san called. Oh okay. Chopper replied as he walked closer to the skywolf. He seems to be the leader of the pack and started translating him. You puny pests have been keeping us awake. Go to sleep, you dumbass humans. Chopper translated. What was that? Both Sanji-san and Luffy replied with shark teeth to Chopper. I didn't say it. Chopper told the two before he continues on translating the skywolf. Hey, you'd better not be trying to move in on our territory. No, we were forced to come here. This is our land. You think you can just barge in and start a fire? Ah, sorry, everything in this forest, from the trees to the weeds, is ours. And then Nami gave the skywolf a punch in the head for that last sentence. I'm not giving up my treasure. Nami exclaimed out. Told you Nami is scarier than any beasts and monsters out there. I commented blankly as the other skywolves are growling and baring his teeth to us. Hey, look, you pissed them off, what do we do now? Usopp asked. Think of something, Nami replied. Me, Usopp replied back and the leader barked towards the other skywolves. Stop it, the whole lot of you couldn't take her on. Chopper continued on translating. Even the leader understands me. I commented with a nod and Flame woofed with a nod. Nay-san, didn't know you had such a nice punch. I like you, so things are under control. Usopp asked. Looks like it, Zoro replied. Then, let's have our campfire. Luffy said. In the end, we're actually having a campfire party along with the skywolves. I just laughed as the others are having fun on dancing around the campfire with the skywolves while I just watching on the sideline. I stretched out as I took off my boots and let my legs to get some fresh air as I swung it back and forth slowly. Have they tamed the clouds as well? I heard someone said with a small laugh. I know of no others who could cause such a uproar on Enel's land. I turned and saw Knight Asen is awake already. Oh, you're awake. Are you sure you should be moving already? Robin-san asked. I have been such a bother. I had intended to help you. Knight Asen answered. What are you talking about? You did plenty. Zoro replied. Thanks for saving Chopper, Flame, and our ship. What, it was nothing. Knight Asen replied back. I think there's some stew left. Would you like some? Robin-san offered. No, I appreciate it, but I think that I had best not. Knight Asen declined kindly. Oh, the weird Asen's awake. Luffy pointed out, thanks a lot. Let's dance, Knight of the Sky. Chopper said, aren't you the doctor? Zoro pointed out with a sweat drop. Oh yes, you're the owner of the Blue Griffin, aren't you? Knight Asen asked me. Huh, oh yeah, how do you know, Knight Asen? I asked back with a grin. I actually met him when I was about to go get Canis and her dad when I heard about the ordeal of fog that almost got her. Right now, they're at my house. They'll be safe there as Enel's mantra can't reach it. You need not worry, he answered. Ooh, that's great to know. It's good to know that they're safe. I laughed, though considering it's Takao, I'm sure he'll figure something out because he's pretty smart himself. I also heard a little of what you were talking about before. Did you say that this island used to be called Jaya? Knight Asen asked. Yes, Robin-san replied, but I believe that you have yet to hear how it came to be known as Holy Ground. He continued as he watched the others with a smile, but it's already late. We can talk about it in some other times. Yes, I agree on that. I'm gonna go to bed. But first, I'm gonna take a shower. Be back soon, I exclaimed out as I jumped down and walked up to Karasumaru, driving it back to the altar and attack the sky sharks that are about to eat me up. I quickly went up to the ship and took a shower. Shit's happened today and I at least want to clean myself up first before going to bed later. Showering before bed actually feels good to me, but my hair will be all funny in the morning because of it. Right after I finished, I went back to the others and found out that the party is over already and everyone's about to sleep. I walked into the tent and just immediately lay down on the mattress between Nami and Robin-san, curling up and pulling up the blanket. Oh boy, I didn't realize how tired I am. Nay, Eri, I heard Nami called me softly. Huh, what, Nami? I replied back, not opening my eyes. About this morning, I'm sorry. I lost my composure, she apologized softly. It's okay, Nami. Just don't do that again, okay? Try to think clearly first on things along with the consequences. I replied as I yawned, let's just go to sleep. We're going to go find treasure tomorrow. I told her. Okay, good night, Eri. Night night, Nami. Disclaimer: this story do not belong to me. The author is The Chronicle by Thief of Stealth. The end.